Good morning, students. Hope you all are fine. So, let's start a new chapter, that is chapter number 5, Coal and Petroleum. So, before starting main topic, that is coal and petroleum, let's learn about the resources. So, what are the resources? We can say resources are some material which fulfills our basic needs like air, sunlight, soil, rock, water, plants, minerals, coal and petroleum, natural gases. Okay, so these all are the resources. As these resources are obtained from the nature, so these are named as natural resources. Okay, we can classify resources into two parts, that is natural resources and the man-made resources. So natural resources are those resources which we get from the nature. Alright, man-made resources are those resources which we get from the help of men. Alright, basically they synthesize these resources like plastic, paper, charcoal. Charcoal basically we get it from wood, but this wood is converted into the charcoal with the help of men. Okay, next we can classify them in natural resources into two parts, that is inexhaustible resources and the exhaustible resources. What are the inexhaustible resources? Resources which remain available forever, or we can say those resources which cannot be used completely, like we cannot use completely the sunlight. Okay, so these resources are considered as inexhaustible resources. For example, sunlight, soil, water. Okay. And the next one is exhaustible natural resources. Exhaustible natural resources means those resources which are limited in number. We can say a time may come when we may not be left with these resources. So these resources are known as exhaustible resources. Now exhaustible resources are further classified into two parts, that is renewable resources and the non-renewable resources. Renewable resources means those resources which can renew it. Alright, like which can be replaced or regenerated, like trees in the forest can be regenerated. It takes time, but it can be regenerated. Next one is non-renewable resources. Non-renewable resources are the resources which cannot be regenerated or take so much of time to available once again, like coal. Coal can be regenerated in millions of years, but it takes so much of time. Alright. So coal is considered as a non-renewable resources. So let's learn about the fossil fuels. What are the fossils? Fossils is considered as dead and remaining part of plants and animals. Okay, so fossil fuels are basically the fuels which we get from the fossils. But the main question is, what are the fuels? Fuels is basically a source from which we get energy. Okay, now fuel is burned completely to give us a lots of amount of energy. So fuel is burned to supply heat. Natural fossil fuels are fossil fuels. Fossil fuels basically carbon rich fuels which come from the deep under the earth crust. Alright, fossils are the remainings of plants and animals which existed the earth at one time and got buried under the soil of year ago. So let's learn about the coal. How coal is formed under the earth, or we can say how is coal formed deep inside the earth. So coal is basically a fossil fuel which is obtained from the plant metal. Alright, chemically it contains carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen and sulfur. Lekin most of the content is carbon. So millions of years ago, the earth at many places was covered with the dense and lofty trees, included dead wood and vegetable matter along the water bodies got deep buried inside the layer of the soil due to any type of disturbances like flood, earthquakes, eruptions of volcanoes. So these are the basic cause due to which these dense forests got buried in the layer of soil. So in absence of air and the high pressure and high temperature, these soil or we can say the vegetable matter which is deep in the soil, it is slowly converted into the coal. But this process takes millions of years. Alright, so the process of conversion carbon rich matter into the coal is known as carbonization. Alright, and the coal which we obtain from the remaining of the plant or animals is known as fossil fuels. And the depositions where we get the coal is known as coal mines. So we use coal as a fuel. We use coal to get food, or we can say we use coal to cook food. These are used for generating electricity. Coal is a basic source of energy. Alright, sometimes. So these are some basic use of coal. Next, products of coal. There are different type products of coal like coal gas, coal tar, ammonia gas. So these are the different products which we get from the coal by destructive distillation. Okay, and this process is known as refining of petroleum. Coal gas is basically a mixture of hydrogen, methane, carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide. So mixture of these gases is known as coal gas. These Coal gas are highly inflammable and produce a great amount of heat and light on burning. So it is known as an excellent fuel with high calorific value. Alright, so coal gas is used in industries as a fuel, and it includes hydrogen gas, so it is also used as a reducing agent. What is reducing agent? This we will going to learn about in higher classes. Alright, but yes, coal gas was invented by British, that is known as William Murdoch, in the year of 1792. Okay,